Hey guys, today I'm doing another subscriber designs video, and today, as usual, we start with a slightly smaller thing, although this is the biggest thing in size, and then we'll move on to the main bit of the video that's in the title. But I got a craft from Pulsar, and it's in the email it said, have fun landing this on the VAB, because this is a VTOL. Yes, this giant-ass cargo jet-looking motherfucker is a VTOL. Look how cool that is! It just takes off! And oh god. It's great. Anyway, so, just to prove that I'm amazing, I'm going to try and land this on the VAB. And don't worry, I will probably fail, so the prove that I'm amazing thing will come back to smack me in the face. But I had to take this challenge. A lot of people have been sending me a craft and a challenge. But this one needed to be done because it is the standard test for whether or not a VTOL is any good. If you can land it on the VAB. It is also the standard test for if the pilot is any good. You may remember last time that I landed a little VTOL on the VAB, but now I've been sending big-ass VTOLs, so I'm going to do this. What's this called? I think it's called Oversized Hummingbird, which is pretty cool. So I'm going to start throttling down right now, try and kill off some of this velocity. And get in line with the VAB. Ooh, it rolls quite a bit, but it's surprisingly controllable for its size. Okay, we're going to want to throttle up. And, oh no, oh shit. Suck a dick, that totally counts! Okay, it went off the VAB, but still. I'm going to count that. I'll try again, but I don't want to be doing this for too long. Anyway, let's move on to some other stuff. Holy shit. Oh. Okay, stuff's broken. Anyway, let's move on to some other stuff. So thank you to Pulsar for that VTOL, but the next thing we're looking at, again a fairly small thing, is an F-15 Strike Eagle, or just F-15 Eagle, I believe. This comes from Joseph, and it's rather beautiful. I like how this looks. Its wings look more like an F-15 than anything I've ever built, and more than anything I've ever been sent, I think. It's using a fairing for the nose cone, and it's got this kind of nice effect where the cockpit is raised up, like a real fighter jet. Yes, this is just quite a nice looking jet, so I thought I'd fly it around a little bit, because today I'm taking a look at quite a few people's craft, because why not? So I'll activate the afterburners. This is actually using 2 sets of engines. Oh, someone's braking. Apparently I dropped the fuel tanks. Let's revert to launch. I can't quite figure this out, because it's using 2... Oh, damn it. Let's just get back on the runway. Yeah, it's using 4 engines in the place of 2. You can see they're kind of clipped into each other, which, in my opinion, is totally shitting. But it still looks pretty cool, so I'm okay with it. And it gives it a lot of thrust. So we can activate that afterburner, or that afterburner. But not both. That's interesting. Maybe that's a somewhat limiting factor. Anyway... And yeah, it's pretty maneuverable. It does a nice job. It just looks quite nice. It isn't armed or anything. I'm not going to do a big dogfight, because I do that, you know, every episode. You see a lot of dogfights. And it's got these little fuel tanks, which are quite nice. Drop tanks are always good, because it means you can fly a little further, and you can drop some bombs. But yeah, pretty maneuverable. Looks pretty nice. I like, again, the detailing at the back. It seems to be a recurring theme, this kind of shrouding on the engine done by these intakes, which looks quite good. And then if you press 3, it drops away the fuel tanks. Now I can fully engage in combat. Oh, gets a little bit not so maneuverable without those fuel tanks, actually. Well, no, a little more maneuverable, but a little harder to control. But yeah, I guess that would make it better for combat, because it's more maneuverable. But yeah, let's go and fly it about a bit, and then we'll move on to some really interesting looking aircraft. Although this is pretty interesting looking, but obviously based on something real. I wonder if there's anything in that fairing. Maybe I'll pop the fairing at the end, see if it actually affects aerodynamics. Yeah, you can see it's quite meticulously designed. The wings look good. It's got some wings built in here, the same way I'd probably do it by putting in a bunch more wings. What does 4 do? Nothing. Okay. To, you know, balance it out. And the wings are strutted so they don't flex or anything, which makes it look a little bit, you know, not as pretty as it could, but it is functional, which is good. And it's got the nice thick body of an F-15. F-15s, interestingly, there was one that was sent to Israel when they first were developing them, because America, you know, sends a lot of jets to Israel. And in a flight test, one of the pilots collided with another pilot in the F-15, and he actually tore off half of his wing. No, he tore off the whole of one of his wings. But he couldn't see this at the time. So he managed to stabilize the jet by burning right towards the ground with afterburners on to stabilize the spin, because I guess as you transition to different aerodynamic profiles, it changes the aerodynamics of your aircraft. Anyway, and then he managed to land it, and then he got out and realized he only had one wing. So yes, an F-15 can indeed fly with one wing, I guess, if you have a pretty balling balling? I meant ballin', like, that guy's straight ballin'. Anyway, I've been flying this around for long enough. It's a very nice aircraft. Thank you, Joseph. It's, yeah, really pretty. Let's move on to someone else. So yes, the next part of the video, well, the kind of almost last part of the video. There's a bunch of crap from this guy, though. This is from Colonel CB Player. He has built a bunch of futuristic sci-fi looking planes, and the first one, which is my favorite, is this. It's got an awesome wing design. It uses these air brakes as control surfaces, and the front just looks so cool. There is a cockpit in there, but it's designed so... It's almost how you'd imagine an alien aircraft would look, you know? Kind of just slightly different wing setup, no sort of one fuselage, it has like 3 of them. And blue lights, of course. I just love how it looks, and it's crazy maneuverable. It just sort of dances in the air, and it is beautiful. I'm not sure aliens would be using afterburning turbojets, probably some kind of future drive, but sadly, there is no future drive in KSP, unless you use mods. I'm not even using SAS right now, actually. Usually I fly planes with SAS, but this doesn't need it. However, I will turn on to demonstrate one of my favorite features is the yaw capability. It can just yaw as if it was turning normally, and it does it by using these control surfaces, and you can just turn literally laterally, kind of horizontally. It's awesome. I love stuff that can turn like this. You just turn around, your enemies are trying to run away, you just turn like this, shooting at them. It's great. Obviously more maneuverable to fly it conventionally, but I do love that feature of it. Yes, it is rather beautiful. This, I think, is just a intake? Yeah, I don't know why it's there. I think probably just aesthetically, maybe as like an exhaust or something. You can actually see out of the cockpit because of the way, I guess, 3D textures work. But yeah, when you fly past stuff, it illuminates them in this kind of turquoise. Oh, shit, fuck. This, unlike the F-15 Eagle, cannot fly with one wing. Anyway, let's fly a little more, because I do really love it. Just because it's pretty. Yeah, okay. And then there's a couple more from him, which I will show off. They're pretty cool, but this is just definitely the best one. It looks so futuristic, and it can just fly totally vertically. Does 1G with no problem. This also is using the super, the trick of putting 4 engines in place of 2 to give it a little more thrust, which I think is, I'm more okay with it in this because this is a future aircraft. So this is some kind of future drive with twice the thrust of a conventional engine. But I guess it does double the mass, so yeah, I will let the F-15 off the hook because I love the F-15 so much in real life. But yeah, you can see as I kind of turn and maneuver, the air brakes are also working to control the aircraft, because this has a pretty interesting control setup. You can see it has fairly conventional wings for roll and yaw and things, and then some interesting looking front canards. But also around the engine there's this kind of shroud made of control surfaces, which adds a lot of maneuverability and beauty. And my favorite thing is obviously using the controls, the air brakes for maneuverability. Just kind of being able to yaw. Anyway, let's land this thing and take a look at the next one. Okay, we'll flip this around over the top, because it can, because it's beautiful. And then we'll throttle down the engines, come in for a beautiful landing. Throw the air brakes on, because they look so cool. Oh, fuck, I'm fucking up, because I really want to put the air brakes on, even though I totally don't need to, but look how awesome! And then boom. It'll probably crash because I'm holding the brakes too hard, but I just wanted to see those air brakes go. And the control surfaces deploy. That's pretty cool. I didn't notice that before. Now they're gone. Anyway, let's look at his next plane. So, this, I didn't mention the name of the last one. I've actually forgotten what it's called. Oh, it was the last one was the ADF-01 Falcon, and this is the ADFX-01 Morgan, which is the next one. He has come up with names for them, and they are fighters in the sci-fi universe of Kerbal War Program. And yeah, this is a 2-seater heavy fighter, I guess. Not clipping engines, but is using 2 of them. We'll fire up the afterburners. That turns the engines off. There's the afterburners. Anyway, and I really like how this looks as well. It's a little bigger and a little less maneuverable, but the main thing I love is how massive these tail planes are and how they're kind of tilted. It's sort of just a beautiful plane. Again, the other one was massively beautiful, and so is this. It also uses control surfaces for not control surfaces. It uses air brakes for controlling as well. I don't think it yaws quite as well because it rolls over when you do that, but it's fine. It's not a light fighter. And yeah, again, fairly similar thoughts on this. It looks amazing. It looks super futuristic. I think in the description it says it was developed by the UN for an unidentified country. So there is some backstory to these planes, which I sadly didn't actually go through. Oh, and I've just noticed these are actually, they're ramjets, but there's also a, what is this? There's also an aerospike in here, which makes these really futuristically awesome looking intakes. Just another awesomely futuristic plane, and it's really cool. Now, I bet I can go really fast, but I don't really have time for that because we have to look at your other plane, which is also awesome. So, the final plane is the R101 Delphinus 2, which is not a fighter, I don't think. I didn't actually read the description, but it doesn't seem like one. It's not super maneuverable, but it is very fast. It uses ramjets instead of turbojets. And I imagine we might even be able to escape the atmosphere with this because it's so powerful, and it is using 4 ramjets all crammed into one. And yeah, another fairly futuristic looking, I thought it was a drone, but it is actually a plane. A manned plane. But yeah, pretty cool. I don't know what this is. Maybe it would be an interceptor. That's probably what I'd imagine it would be. But yes, I have looked at 3 craft from the same person. But I am going to look at another craft at the end of this. I know I said these would be the last things, but hey, I want to get like a lot more craft into each of these videos because I've had a lot sent to me, and I have a bit of a backlog, and I want to look at, you know, as many things as possible, rather than just like 2 people's stuff a video. What have I done so far? Like 3? So we'll do 4 today. Good. Plow through it. Anyway, let's get some speed up. We're already traveling at 1,200 meters per second, 1,300 meters per second. Okay. Our aquaps is getting up to 60 kilometers. And it looks like the engines are throttling down now, which is a bit of a shame. We didn't quite clear out of the atmosphere. I probably could have gotten higher, but you could imagine no matter where something was, this would be able to intercept it. Because in 1 minute and 22 seconds, plus a bit of talking, we have managed to get up to 30 kilometers, traveling at 1,200 meters per second. And if we had a missile payload, I've looked at a bunch of fighters today, but none of them have had weapons on them, which is fine. I could just arm them myself, but I just want to look at the craft because they're so cool. But yeah, you can imagine that this could pretty much kill anything in the world because it can get anywhere in the world. I mean, I'm on the edge of space right now. I'm probably higher than where all those people say space is when they go up in the balloons and they totally don't go to space. It's like, just do a little bit of thinking. It's not space. It's cool that you go that high in a balloon, but it's not space. Anyway, yeah, we can now see the curvature of Kerbal. Rather beautiful. Anyway, thank you to Colonel CB Player for all of these. They're really cool. I do love these sci-fi things. I think I have been sent some more sci-fi stuff. I can't really remember. I get a lot of things. But yeah, it's a nice change of pace. I'm often looking kind of current day fighters because obviously I have a bit of an affinity for things like F-16s because, you know, you see them in real life. Oh, look, it's burning up on the way back in. But it is nice to get something totally different occasionally. So yeah, anyway, let's move on to the next thing, which is pretty cool. And then we'll close out the video. So the final thing we're looking at is the XB70 Valkyrie, or yeah, it's got XB70 Valkyrie from Joseph. Surprisingly, the same Joseph who sent me the F-15. So I guess I haven't really looked. I've only looked through 3 people's things today. But hey, this is awesome as well, and I wanted to look at it. But yeah, if you have sent me stuff and I haven't looked at it yet, never fear. I do look back through pretty much everything because often I have a little time between recording videos and so much stuff comes in, I kind of pick and choose. But I'll go back through and maybe you'll get your stuff in even if you sent it in quite a while ago. So, you know, never fret. Anyway, so this is the XB70 Valkyrie, based on the XB70 Valkyrie, which was an American prototype for like a deep penetration nuclear bomber, because it's super fast, as you can kind of tell by the massive amount of engines. We'll put the afterburners on and take off. But yeah, I guess the idea is that it travels supersonically behind enemy lines, drops a nuclear payload, and gets the hell out of Dodge. I'm not sure if, I don't think these were ever kind of implemented. I'm actually not sure. I don't know much about this plane, but it is really cool. I do like how it looks. It looks pretty accurate to, I mean, as much as you can get in stock KSP, to the real one. If you Google the XB70 Valkyrie, it looks pretty good. I like how boxy it is, actually. You can see that the engine shroud is very boxy. That's quite cool. And I really like the fuselage, this kind of long, thin thing. But yeah, you can see it easily gets up to supersonic velocities. If I had North Kerbal Dynamics installed, I could probably attach a nuclear payload to this. And I kind of wish I had. And maybe I will at the start of next video, just to kind of like do a nuclear explosion. But yeah, anyway, this is pretty cool. It goes super fast. It looks beautiful. I don't have that much to say. I've talked about the aesthetics of planes a lot today, but I just thought I'd take a look at this. And thank you to everyone for setting... Ooh, it rolls a bit. Yeah, it's a little bit shaky. It's also quite maneuverable. You can see I can just pull out of turns pretty well. I could outfight anything Penguin designs. Oh, shade. Oh, ho, ho. Oh, ho, 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 shade. Yeah, well, yeah, whatever. Anyway, it actually is a little reminiscent of some of the things Penguin would design in Collaborative Warfare, kind of big tactical bombers, actually. So maybe it can't outfly his things. Although, actually, it shakes a lot less than them. Why am I throwing so much shade at Penguin? This isn't that series. I don't know. It's just ingrained in me now, you know? Anyway, this is awesome. Everything I've been sent today was really great, so thank you to all of you. And, as always, if you want to send me some stuff, there is a link to my email in the description. Just send it with a list of mods and the version of KSP, although I usually assume it's 1.2, and if not, I check a couple of other versions. But just make sure you list the mods. And yeah, send me anything. Send me, I do love my fighter jets, but I do get quite a lot of them, so don't feel like you only have to send me war stuff, you know. There's a lot of cool things I like to look at, like, I think it was mostly war stuff today. But I'm a big fan of big, crazy VTOLs. Design me crazy VTOLs to try and land on the VAB. But anyway, guys, this is the end of the episode. I may at some point do an aliens invade thing with that F-15 and those sci-fi spaceships. I think that would have been really cool. Maybe I should have done it today, but maybe it'll be in a future video. But if you'd like to go check out a couple more videos, there is my most recent episode of Prison Architect, in which a large fight erupts, and we have to beat down like a gajillion dudes. It gets super dark. And there is my latest episode of Road to Colonization, in which I build something from scratch in orbit and then send it back to Kerbin, because I got spaced the wrong way round? Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, there's also links to my Twitter, Twitch, and Patreon in the description if you're interested. But as always, I hope you've enjoyed this. This has been Kerbal with Tape. I'll see you next time.